here from Graybeat. A little behind the scenes on a little experimental audiovisual thing that you might have seen on social media here recently that I myself and Brian over at Second Sight Visuals did. As interesting and as certainly intriguing as the sounds and certainly some of the sights of those little reels were. I think you'll see that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes with this little experiment, and I'll break it down for you. All right, so what you're looking at here is how this audio was made. And what I did is I took each of Brian's 3 videos, and as you can see there, these visualizer type videos with some abstract shapes and colors constantly changing. He has said, see if you could score this. So I thought, first thing I thought was like, this looks really interesting, but what if we sort of reverse engineer what I normally do in my live shows? And so to break down real quickly, what I do in my live shows is normally I play my songs, I improvise on the live remixes of my songs at each and every live show. And then I have some real-time graphics being created in the background that rely on me to make these sort of live improvisational audio decisions in order to generate new and interesting graphics each time as well. I thought I'd reverse this. So we have the video that you see here originally from Brian, the 3 videos. And we're putting audio to the visual. So what I did is try to break down visually what's going on with each of these. There's sort of a central area with color. There's a area outside the center with different changing colors. And let's just throw this up on our screen here. And we can see what's going on with video number 1. And then if we see here, what I've done is actually taken just a snippet of video number 1. And I'm going to then further come over here and analyze what's going on. So I'm taking essentially a corner piece of this video and saying, okay, outside that center area, when do the colors change and what kind of color information are we getting here? And then finally, we have some different math things going on with this that eventually lead over here, and they lead over to the sound area. So we have some things like I have a synthesizer. I'm changing the output of the synthesizer based on some data, some red, green, and blue data that's coming out of what I'm analyzing in the corner of this video. And if we look a little bit closer, this is track number 4. So I'm going to bring this up. And right over here, you can see this knob. It says FM sub, and it's just moving like crazy along with the flashing lights on the left-hand side. Okay, so that's making some interesting sounds you're probably hearing. Now, it's an interesting thing to note at this point that the exact video that Brian originally sent me was like this, but didn't have the same colors. It did have generally the same shapes. And this experiment worked, essentially, once he did that, because I had taken a video that was somewhat like this, scored it using this logic of analyzing the information coming out of the video, the red, green, and blue data, and changing the sound based on that. And it had worked for something very similar to it, but with different colors. So, he could send me maybe an infinite amount of these different videos that have the same shapes, and I would be able to go ahead and instantly score his video with a slightly different sounding production. I've also gone ahead and taken a look at the center of the video, tried to see what's going on there. And I have different synthesizers set up based on different things happening with them based on the center data, red, green, and blue data, essentially, and also the outsides. So I only have 4 different synthesizers. It's a relatively simple experiment. But we do have is we have some things like panning being changed, volume being changed. So in the stereo spectrum, things are changing a lot. In your ears, what is being prominently heard is changing a lot. And you can see here we have a bunch of things changing. So we had that synthesizer changing sound like you saw earlier. We have an EQ. This knob is changing on its own, just ghost changing the knob there on that retro EQ. Same with this one. And then we have this auto pan. So the stereo field is being affected greatly also, finally, by the visuals. So just a real quick sneak peek into what's going on here. I really hope that that was useful and enjoyable for you. And thanks so much for checking it out. Stay tuned for more, of course. Cheers.